Holdaway, no cuts, and Steve Savoy so far at Studio Photography Inside Hangout, which we do every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's all about studio photography. So this time we got assignment. Every week we do assignment, and this week assignment was a shoe shot, kind of telling story, maybe advertising, but shoe, not a catalog shot. It was kind of, I tried to make it. So let me share my screen, and we'll go from there. And guys, I can tell you, we're doing such a great job every time. Sometimes I'm just thinking how it will go. Subject like shoe, it's not interesting at all. And man, I just let what kind of submissions we're getting. So, okay, this is first one. Very well. I like it. I like it. It's so colorful. It's kind of. I can hang it on my wall. Really, it's hard to tell that kind of shoe shot, but the whole composition, I like it very much. First, when I look at it, I thought, oh, it's kind of the shoe is getting lost on the background and that kind of stuff. But man, somehow everything plays together so good that it's more like an art than the shot. I know, Dave, what do you think?
HDR, I'm guessing, right?
HDR, right? HDR again. But
and who shot this? Was this Ron's shot?
No, I think it's maybe it's Alan. I'm not sure. No, it's not Ron.
Yeah, really cool shot. I think what really makes it is the darkness all around, the left, right, the bottom, and not so much the top, but it sort of frames it. The detail in this thing is sick. Great shot. I can't even begin to comment on this, on anything negative. I saw this and just said, wow.
Yeah.
And the reflection is real cool too. It's not that double image kind of reflection. It's real sharp. It's like front reflecting glass that it was shot on.
Right. I'm wondering, is it real stuff? I mean, the real horse, whatever they used to kick horses.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is it real or it's more like the cart, the decoration?
No, they used to kick the crap out of horses, man.
So it's like this. Okay.
They'd be bleeding from spurs. So
yeah,
these are actually timid. I've seen spurs that are actually pointed. But the great thing is the background color works so well. A little bit darker than the subject itself, so it really allows the subject to pop forward. The lighting on this thing is sick. This is a great shot, man. There's not much to be said about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it too, like I said. Thank you, Dave. Let's jump to this one. I forgot who did it. Anyway. It's kind of cool concept, and actually we have Bill Cahill. He left comments on the forum. He couldn't join, but he did some comments. It's interesting. And like he said on this shot, the text, if you can do it without the big text on the image, well, you need to work up. So I'm not liking text here because it's kind of distracting, taking my attention away every time I look at this image. If you need to say it, let's use it like outside of the border, like Dave always name his rock, right? You have, it's a part of the image, the name, because you kind of think through it. But let's make it maybe smaller, I don't know. Regarding the shot itself, this very kind of common mistake on many submissions I've seen, light is too soft. When we're shooting things like fabric, shoe, the leather, that kind of thing, we need to show the texture. And here, especially looking at this fur shoe in that kind of condition, I would expect very sharp like very lot of highlights in dark areas, on that, so it will kind of work at the same kind of story, telling the same story. But here is light is relatively soft, only probably on that back it's a little bit reflective, but here it was a reflector on the left and light on the right. Probably lack of light sources, I understand, but maybe we can do like few shots with same light at very sharp angles, from right, from left, maybe from behind, and then combine it to something. So this is how I see it. Dave, what do you think?
Well, I sort of look at things so much from a different aspect.
Right.
Just Do It, the Nike theme song that always goes on. I really like the thought in this a ton. It's not just do it. It's yeah, I did it. It's I went out there and beat the shit out of myself and did what I had to do. Yeah, I agree with you, Alex. The lighting could be better. It could be more even. It could be more dynamic. And the guy who shot this sort of went to the really trying to make an ad out of it. Might like a little bit of a softer edge around the vignette, around the silhouette, that kind of thing. And maybe some form of a shadow to give it some depth. Nike got a free one out of this. It's a great idea and something maybe Nike should even pick up on. It's not I'm sitting on the sidelines just thinking about doing it. It's I'm in there doing it. So, really sort of a cool thought. Really is. Maybe not executed as great as it could be, but, I'm liking it. I liked this a lot when I saw it on your forum, Alex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It was a great idea. I was always, it's me, I'm kind of concentrating on the technical side of this. This is actually the lighting setup of this shot, and what I would do, even, let's say, exactly the same gear we have, right? Instead of that umbrella, it was slightly collapsed, but I would completely remove it and turn light directly to the shoe.
Right.
And maybe, on the left, sorry, not just a white cardboard, but let's say a piece of foil. It will work as an additional light source and will add much sharper, light from that side. So that's probably what kind of utilizing the same gear.
Yeah, I think, working in a week for me is so constricting. I know it isn't for you and Bill because, that's the kind of stuff that, especially Bill, he's used to having to churn stuff out and get it right and great immediately. But for me, photography never has worked that way. I've worked on ideas for years, let alone a day or two or a week. So I sort of look at this exercise for me personally as, okay, what can I get done in a week, and is it a good enough idea that I can spend maybe the next 2 months refining it, figuring out really what I want to say about it. I'd like to think that emotions for me come in a heartbeat, but they don't. So this is one of those kind of shots where maybe not perfect, but go forward with it, keep working with it. Tim, with that little car, that Monopoly piece that he had, he showed us a shot a few weeks ago, when in the Chrome assignment. And after that, he kept shooting. He took what we said and tried to integrate it, and then he tried to expound upon it to make it a better shot. And that's what this sort of is for me. It's like, is the idea there? Is the emotion there? And if it is, let's go forward with it and see what we can do. I really feel there's a great shot here. It'll need some more work, but it's so hard sometimes once you find something that you like to keep going. It's so hard to look at a piece that you've shot and say, well, I think this is great. And you can't look at it that way. You have to say to yourself, yeah, I think this is good. I think it's a great idea, but how can I do better? And, you know, what we're doing here tonight and what we've done in the past 10, 12 weeks, whatever it's been, has helped me a lot with that thought process also.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you, Dave. Let's move to the next one. Okay. Love this shot, really. It's kind of maybe simple, but from what I see, it's almost perfect. You know, those wires, like 3 birds, 3 lines on the Adidas shoe, and the lighting, especially lighting, if you look how it was done, you see all the lights, at least what I see, were kind of snooted, you know, the honeycomb, so it was sharp light. And it created all this like gradients, transition from bright into darker areas, so it's very, well, the shoe itself looked great. The only thing which I noticed in Jenny when she's seen it, said, oh, you know, yes, it's kind of, this part, it's, if we have that bright...
yeah, the laces have to be darker in that area.
They should be darker, right. Or we can, alternatively, I understand it's a completely different shot, but if we highlight somehow in Photoshop or, I don't know, paint it, those wires from, let's say, from the bottom, it will kind of create the thing that, oh, it was a lot of light coming from that side. So, yeah, Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd rather see those laces darker. I like the dark lines because it brings focus to the shoes. And, you know, I grew up in a neighborhood where, man, there were tons of sneakers hanging from the phone lines. So, yeah, I really like this a lot. The only thing I might like, and it's probably not an ad kind of thing, is I'd like the sneakers to be beat up a little bit. In my neighborhood or in my area, I grew up in northern Jersey. You never saw a pair of sneakers hanging from phone line like that were that clean. Mm-hmm. People would climb up there and try to get them. But, you know, if you're looking at an ad thing, this is great. The only thing I might do is the bottom left corner, that really white area. I might actually burn that a little bit. Try to get it a little bit darker to create a frame in the image to bring the focus purely to the sneakers.
Oh, you mean here?
No, bottom left. Bottom left.
What? Oh, left, okay.
The background, actually.
Oh, I see, background, right. Right.
Yeah, just darken that a bit because it's taking my eye away a little bit. You know, there's this beautiful darkness in the background all around it that really focuses in on the sneaker. But the bottom left sort of draws my eye away from it. That's the only thing I can say. I love the pigeons in there too. That's just great.
Yeah. And it's like 3 plus 3. It's funny. I didn't notice it, but then Jenny told me.
Those are the 3 wires too, right?
Yeah, everything's in threes, and everything's are in threes. The wires that the pigeons are sitting on are stacked in 3. The diagonals, which, if all you probably have come to realize, I love diagonals in frames. That's in a 3, and then there's the sneaker sitting there in a 2, which sort of, you know, just adds the difference into the frame.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Any other thoughts, Guy? Yeah, if somebody want to tell, to kind of discuss, let's. Don't worry, join and stop just talking because.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like only we. I and Dave will be.
I think Bill's with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Excellent. Now it will be hard critic. Hi, Bill. Do you hear us?
I don't think he's fully in just yet.
Yeah, he's probably. Hopefully. And yeah, Dave, you remember you said that it's kind of too new, not worn. What about this? Worn enough?
All I want to know is whose foot is that? I don't care how much Photoshop you do to this thing. There is just something not right.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
But it's amazingly beautiful, ugly shot. I just kind of it's crazy.
That is it's just revolting.
Yeah.
And of course I love it, just because it's revolting. But there has to be some truth in this image, and I really, really want to know whose foot that is.
Well, I have some kind of suspicious, but I won't talk. But we'll see. Hi, Bill.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good,
Good,
Bill.
we
How
got
you
a
doing?
nice shoe.
God.
That's a nice shoe, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know what kind of to do, because I think from my standpoint how it's done, it's probably perfect. The only thing from Photoshop side, I know it's possible. I don't know how to do it, but I've seen it. Like if you would add some, kind of stitches, something which will mimic like that piece of shoe was actually kind of tied to skin, like they do it with little threads, that
Right.
kind of thing. Maybe that's
Like
the
little
zone.
shadows, maybe, or
Right.
something. Some sort of dodging and burning in there.
Yeah, maybe. And no, I'm thinking about let's say like
Stitching.
the surgeon, how a surgeon would do it, right? With threads, the little dots, that's so kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
the only thing I do too in this is the shadow, how it's sort of colored. I'd much rather see a neutral shadow in this.
Oh, right. I didn't notice it.
But yeah, and I agree, Alex. There has to be something to tie the actual shoe part into the foot part, either some stitching or sewing or something that makes it sort of feel integrated. But man, I'm telling you, shoo shmoo, I keep looking at those toenails, and oh, good Lord Almighty, that's something from a Wes Craven movie going on right there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I just think it's a little red, though. It needs to have some of the red pulled out of it, though.
I think he had for a reason like
You think so?
Less healthy, even less healthier. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Bill, what do you think about it? It's kind of very different from what you do.
Well, it's disgusting, actually. I mean,
Yeah,
Let's say at least from technical standpoint.
I think it's interesting. I think it's fairly well done, and like you said, some more integration where the shoe really looks like it's kind of sewn into it or somehow. But it's a really cool concept. I'd like to see the lighting overall be a little bit moodier and have a little bit more something interesting going on. I don't know if a white background is the best background for this kind of a shot, but overall, I like the concept, and it's a fun shot.
Yeah.
It's a really fun shot.
agreed.
Okay. Bill, it was a long day? You still in the studio? You were shooting, Bill?
Yeah, long days.
Okay.
I got a lot of work to do.
I see, yeah. Thank you for joining.
That's good.
Yep. Okay, this one. Well, I like it. I was trying what could be improved or done differently. And first I was thinking about, where is texture on the black part of shoe? I don't see it. But then I realized that the lighting was basically good and perfect for bringing up texture, and it just no visible probably texture at this magnification at least. Because if you look at how it was done, you see there is no soft boxes. Again, sharp lights all around, and well, I really like the result. So I don't know. Probably I wouldn't do better. I don't know how to improve. Let's do. Bill, what do you think?
No, I like the way the texture on the shoes look. They did it correctly to bring out texture. The ball is your eye goes to the ball a little too much. You know, it's got one thing. It's got text and it's got the logos and it's a basketball. You know, but it shouldn't be a shot about Nike. It should be about the shoes. You know, what I would do is probably center up the shoes a little bit more, turn the basketball where you don't see any, or try to minimize the type, and move it into the background a little bit. in the middle and maybe just darken it a little bit so it's not so bright red. But the shoes are good. If you looked at Wanacott, I don't know if you guys know Martin Wanacott. He's in New York. On his website, he has a really cool shot of some Converse shoes on black and a really nice texture. So you should check that out.
Well, if you know URL, post it please to chat. We'll check it. Bill,
yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
If I can figure out how to add it to chat, I will.
Yeah, just click on chat. In the
at the top left of your screen, Bill, there's something that says chat.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dave, what do you think about it? What is your input?
Yeah, anything with Chucks in it is cool with me. I'm an old guy, old school Converse guy. Got to agree, the logos in the ball probably got to go, and maybe the lighting a bit on the ball has to be subdued. The reflective color, the orange that's there by the Chucks, sort of pulls my eye away. I would remove that also. Maybe try to get, and I agree with you, Alex, probably at a larger magnification you might see the canvas in the sneaks themselves. But here I'm not seeing it, so the only thing I can comment on is trying to pull some of that detail out a little bit. Because the great thing about Chucks is they're just canvas. It's a cool thing. So, like the detail, it's the small things that I really focus on in images. I like the way the laces are laid. I like how the end tips, whatever they're called, I forget the name, how they're sort of lined up. I would have liked to see them lined up more. Almost a perfect, lining up of those two eyelets. It's sort of the small things in images that mean a lot to me. But I like the curves in the laces. It sort of brings it all together and focuses the eye on the sneakers themselves. The top left eyelet, the top eyelet in the left sneaker, see how it has the white center? That's got to go. It should be a black center like the right sneaker is also.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't notice it at all. Right.
Yeah, well, I'm psycho for the little stuff. I miss the big stuff all the time, but the little stuff catches my eye.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, there is no big.
Has that got two light sources on it?
Let's see. Three.
Three.
One on top, second one on top two from a little bit other side. Probably one for shoe, one for the ball. And the main light for shoe is this one, right? If you move it a little bit, maybe that side, it will maybe bring even more kind of texture. But I think it's perfect because we see all the texture on the shoe. So, but yeah, I agree with Bill Cahill as well that the ball, if you're talking about shoe, yeah, I would probably will kind of darken it. It's a good catch. I didn't think about it. Okay. Thank you, guys. Let's move to the next one. This one. I think I don't have lighting setup for this. And as I remember description, I think it's just 2 pieces of black plexiglass, and it's real shot, it's not Photoshop. And here, same thing, it's not enough sharp light to bring all the texture. We see it a little bit here, because it's a lot of texture. I mean, it's kind of, it's rough. But here it's not visible, almost no texture, and it's like all white is here. So we need more sharp light on it, definitely. And I'm not sure about the background. I like how it's the bottom part of it, but maybe if we would have just a clean piece of that glossy plexiglass back to have that reflection. But maybe it's clean, maybe it's a reflection from that. Well, I don't know. Guys, what do you think? Dave, Bill, what?
Not my favorite, but I don't understand. Is it a wet plexiglass? Is that the background?
Yeah, it's kind of, for sure it's wet on the bottom, but what's behind it? Is it a mirror, or just a black plexiglass which reflects everything, or black plexiglass, wet black plexiglass which reflects everything on the back? I'm not sure. I don't see the.
Yeah, I think the shoe needs more texture, needs to be moodier. The light It's just too flat overall. I don't particularly like the angle of the shoe. I think it'd be more interesting because it's a little kid's shoe. I would, maybe I would make it look grander and bigger, and then the placement of the laces going into the inside doesn't make really much sense. It's all twisted. I'd have it out, and it's just a lot of little things, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just more work. Dave, what do you think?
I think this is sort of a mess, really. I don't really know what to focus on. Like everybody else, I'm trying to figure out what all the stuff is. I'll always go back to George Lepp. When in doubt, go closer. What might be cool in a shot like this is maybe even not the whole shoe. Go into that cool logo on the tongue. Maybe in the same sort of portrait framing, and really get close into it and get the detail of the denim going down into, something, maybe even a little bit more open that will show the shoe and the detail in the shoe. So you won't even need all that stuff in the background. George Lepp will always be one of my heroes. He likened photography to writing. There's a book, there's a chapter, there's a paragraph, and there's a sentence. And how close you get to the subject depends on what you want to show. But never be afraid to get closer to the subject. Get down to sentence level if you can. I thought a lot about that and learned a lot about it. And I think this shot might actually benefit from that.
Yep, agree. Thank you. Okay, let's move to the next one. This. Yeah, it's kind of cool idea of really, really used skateboard and the shoe, but for me it doesn't play well with kind of background which is kind of floating on that, like almost like in clouds. I would like to see like more texture all around, maybe some asphalt, some I don't know, maybe. So I'm not sure about background. The lighting, same thing here for the shoe. It's not from the right part of it. There is no light. It's probably just diffused light from something, and it should be something really much more, texture bringing light over there. Bill, I know you commented on this one. So
yeah.
Any?
We talked on. Well, you should have seen his first shot. It was really bad.
The second one, I think I missed it. Oh, yeah. It was another one, right? The same?
Yeah, he put it. I don't know if he posted it into your blog or not, but he had another one that wasn't very good. And this one too. Yeah, I told him that you can't. The shoe doesn't look good. I don't know about the placement of the board. The only thing I really like is that he used a wide-angle lens, and it adds a little bit more dynamic feel to it. But it's hard to even tell the texture of the shoe, and we could have arranged it differently, and the background isn't good. I don't know. It's really hard. It's like shoes are much trickier than you would think. It's these textures. Most of the time with shoes, you've got dark textures and white textures all in the same place, and it's really hard to light it properly and to keep the white textures in line and the dark textures, bring those out all in one shot. It's tricky.
Right. Dave?
Being an old skateboarder myself, I was in the first wave. Well, maybe not the first. I was in the 70s wave of skateboarding and going to skateboard parks and all that kind of thing. And I used to actually compete back in the day. Love the board. Love the shape the board's in, the feel of it. You can see that it's been kick-scraped all over the place. The sneaker... I know we're here to talk about probably ad shots, but in something like this, I want to go back to that football shoe. You know, I want the sneaker as beat up as the damn board. I'd like the sneaker to sort of be on the edge of the board, trying to do a kick flip or something, maybe a little bit closer, trying to create that emotion of the moment right before you're gonna do something big. That board's a great subject. It just rocks, and I'm sure the top is as gnarly as the bottom. So there's, like I said, you know, this is the kind of shot where maybe a preliminary thing, maybe something more can come of it down the road. But I think there's something there with that board. You just need those sneakers to be as beat up as the board and try to show the moment right before you're going to do something big.
I see. So you kind of seen it as a motion kind of shot, right? So maybe.
Yeah, well, you know, and especially personally. I spent hours and hours and hours in skateboard parks and half pipes, and back in the day it was just full pipes. You know, we were having sewers installed for the first time in my neighborhood back in the day when skateboarding happened. So there were these big pipes just sitting there, and we'd go in them and skateboard them. So, you know, this is sort of a personal subject to me. You know, you go back and you look at the early days of skateboard shooting. You know, there's really great photography out there, especially when you start talking about, you know, Dogtown and those guys who really opened up skateboarding to the world. So there's a shot here. There's a great shot here. It just has to be looked into more and found.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking maybe it would be cool that somebody to really wear that shoe and to have standing on this and, you know, like you said, almost jumping, and that we can freeze that action, shoot it, Photoshop some stuff out, and maybe cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed.
I see. Yeah, that's kind of one that may look cool with this motion. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Bill. Let's move to the next one. Okay, this is shot and this is lighting setup. What I see here? Well, crop, I don't know why it was too tight. Probably because we didn't want to see the white the reflector behind it. That's my guess, but ideally we should see the whole shoe, obviously, because it's too tight. The light itself, well, how many light sources here? 1, 2, 3. Well, it's probably good.
There's 2 for the background, Alex. 2
2
for the background and 2 for the actual shoe.
Oh, okay. So 2 on the shoe, yeah. With 2 lights on the shoe, that's probably the best you can go. You see the texture. Maybe probably I would move it a little bit. Both lights a little bit behind, so that here it will be darker. You know, like more transition from brighter than to dark than to bright again. Similar to, you know, like I did. But it looks cool. Like this. It's not a big deal here, except the crop probably. Those base, that's nice. Maybe I would like to see like those stuff coming from the shoe. Like you hit it, you know, you hit the water surface with it. Maybe some drops or, you know, some kind of a little bit more motion type of thing. Let's hear. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, the dark area where the reflection is, sort of just, even though I understand it, you know, sort of at the bottom. I wish my pointer worked right now. It just sort of just doesn't work for me. The shoe itself needs some moodier lighting also. You know, just something that sort of blends it into the background as being part of it, as just sort of like there's a shoe and then there's a background. So maybe on the top right of the shoe a little bit darker, that sort of thing. But sort of a cool image. You know, I like the background a lot. But like you, I maybe want to see the shoe interacting with the water a little bit more also. You know, let the shoe get wet a little bit. Who cares?
Yeah.
Unless they cost a lot and you don't want to mess them up, and then I'll understand that totally. But
yeah, I think it's new. Thank you, Dave. Bill, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much everything you guys said. It'd be nice to see the whole shoe. The lighting needs to be a little bit more contrasty. We need to see a little bit more foreshadows, and it seems like everything is getting either overlit or underlit. There's kind of a happy medium that needs to happen.
Okay, right. Thank you. Yeah, if I look at, maybe those light which lead to the shoe just get closer. It will be more sharper light. Maybe it will add that texture. Okay, this one. It's kind of funny. Jenna said, "Oh, why it's different size?" I said, "Well, that's probably the guy who wear it very different lengths or whatever." So it's cool. I like any liquid, and I would probably just crop it like this. I don't know why I have that much space all around, but it's nice. I don't know. It's really cool, and knowing that it was made from just 2 little drops of some colored liquid, that's pretty cool. Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, it's cute. It reminds me of a postcard you'd see somewhere. I don't know what the line would be to it, but it's cute. It's I think if you were to expand on it and not stick to the idea of this was a shoe, the idea of that types of colored liquid. I think I read his post, and it's colored milk or something along those lines, and it's dropping on, I don't know if that's a plexi surface or...
Yeah, it looks like it was plexi, yeah.
Plexi surface. You could, I think, expand on this idea and make it a lot more interesting, but it's cool.
Yeah. And he has those system with solenoids, which you can kind of set a drop-in rate, and I think that setup, it's pretty interesting. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a minimalism dork. I mean, I really like this shot a lot. Even with the crop that it's under with all the white around it. This is more of an art shot, really, than a product shot. It sort of shows somebody really trying to go outside the box, which might not be great for an ad, but is really great just for art's sake. Really cool. This is probably my favorite of the night, actually.
Yeah, one of my favorites too. True. Thank you. Okay. Steve, it's yours, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Probably same here. Looking at this setup, it was only one light, right?
Yeah, I had one speed light.
Yeah. So what I would do, it's again, it kind of lacks of texture because you see you have speed light. You have light almost directly hitting. Instead of sharp angle, you have light in it, so it didn't bring texture, and that's why it's kind of both shoe stuck together. It's hard to see the difference between where one ends and another one starts, because that's probably like this. The light. And still, I use it's not completely related to this shot, but why you have this little diffuser on the strobe?
Well, I didn't want to make it too harsh. I didn't know what it would do to the lighting, so I put that on to soften up the lighting.
But I think maybe I'm wrong, but correct me. Yeah, this thing won't work outside. It's just as hard light as without it. It's just less intense because you're just diffusing light all around, but there is no walls, no ceiling to reflect it. Actually, I've seen several times guys outside shooting with this thing, and there is nothing around. So they just basically, at least how I see it, dimming the strobe without adding no softness at all. Am I right or not? It's kind of
Possible, but
because you see, it should be reflected, right, from something. If it's nothing to reflect the diffused light, which comes from this little diffuser, it's probably so.
Well, I think the real question might be, did you try it without it?
Yeah.
You know, you always try. You know, click a couple frames without it. What I really like about this, and really impressed me when I saw it in the forum was, you know, anybody else would think that this is photoshopped, that it's a sneaker with one shot, a background with another, and then you put them together. But no, this is a real photograph that we're seeing. And I really, really, you know, from my own personal space, I really appreciate that. It's what I've fallen away from in what we're doing here, but hate falling away from it. You know, capturing everything in one frame has always been important to me in my career. And yeah, I think if you would have taken the diffuser off, the detail in the sneakers probably would have come out a little bit more. The harsher light might not have been a bad thing. But all I can say is, you know, put the diffuser on. I've always told my students or any seminar I've given, don't fall in love with what you're doing. Try it with and try it without, and keep adding things. And if you ever say to yourself, no, that will never work, try it. Because, you know, 5 times out of 10 it'll probably work. But great, you know, great effort, man. And you know, if you would have shown this to me, I would have said it was photoshopped. So I'm impressed.
well, I probably did try without the diffuser on, but last night was so windy outside that I was trying everything just to get a clean shot, and even this one I had some little blur around the back edge of the sneaker, and I managed to clean it up, but it was so difficult last night.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I want to add about this effect. Let me show you. It's not a shoe, but about the effect of Photoshop in background, right? She's. I mean, is it studio shot or not? I don't know. You guys, if you read blog, I know you know. But you see, the background looks completely artificial here. But the funny thing, it's just real shot with 2 light sources without any, you know, just because we put so much light on the subject, and it was the same sunset, right? A little bit brighter than Steve you had, but the outcome is pretty interesting, right? I don't know, Bill, do you want to add something about this shot?
Yeah, it needs more lights. And as far as the background, what I would have done is use a different lens so you get more sky. It doesn't really feel like sky in this shot. So somehow, you know, I'd probably use a wider lens and get more clouds. The black shoes, it's really hard to do it this way. I would, you know, you're going to have, no matter, it doesn't matter if there's a diffusion thing on your flash or not, it's going to end up this way. You needed more lights, but yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, with one light, probably hard to do. The only thing I would do, I'll just try to move lights more like on the sides. That's it.
Actually, I had the setup shot. I just moved it back just to get like the big picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had the light much closer to the shoe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can post it maybe on the blog, I mean on the forum, just we can discuss it there.
Okay.
Okay, this one, Bruno, as I remember, did it. And, well, pretty cool idea, kind of with the thing coming, the nail from the bottom, and but it should be worked out a little bit more. First thing, like, where is contrast, so it's a little bit post-production task. Maybe I would change the angle a little bit of the shoe, a little bit more depth of field here. If you look at the lighting setup, Same thing with the lighting. It was not sharp enough to bring all the texture. Well, maybe it brought texture where it's in focus, but outside of focus, it's anyway, you don't see anything. So it needs more light, basically. More lights. I would probably add lights from behind to highlight this little guy under the shoe, maybe from the right. But the idea is cool, kind of creative. Bill, Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the idea. I think it could have been pushed further. You know, the shoe, it's on the right side, it's too overlit. You know, and you don't see enough texture. That seeing underneath the shoes can be interesting. I think the styling could have been worked on, both in the mud placement and the laces, how it's kind of tied up, could have been worked on a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Dave, what do you think? Thank you, Bill.
Turn the shoe totally profile. Let's see the whole thing in focus. If we're going to focus on a sneaker, let's make sure we're focusing on a sneaker and the logo. It would also, the one thing I don't like about this is without a leg in that shoe, I'm not getting the feeling that it's going to clamp down on that nail. I've been in that place. I remember when I was a kid walking around in the woods and stepping on a nail. So all I'm seeing here is a static shoe, just sort of hovering over a nail. It was profile and crop different, so you didn't really know if there was an ankle or not, or a leg or not. It would probably bring out the feeling a little bit more, show the product a little bit more. And like Bill said, also, you know, when you're going to shoot a shot like this, make sure the laces are working right. You know, make sure they're maybe not taut, but uniform, that kind of thing. But I think profile would have been a heck of a lot better. And honestly, I wouldn't be adverse to seeing this with just a black background, a black bottom, no dirt, no grass, no nothing. Just a great-looking shoe with a nail sticking up. That would just absolutely bring focus to the product and what might happen to the product. I don't know if that would work, but in my mind, I'm sort of seeing it and saying, oh yeah, this would be pretty cool.
Yeah. You know, it struck my mind, the idea. Imagine that it's not one nail. It's like a line of nails behind the shoe as well, and some of them already in blood.
Yeah.
And it's like in a fading in the fading in the darkness, all that line.
Yeah, that would bring pain to anybody looking at it.
Yep, a lot of emotion.
That's a cool idea. That's awesome, Alex.
Okay, talking about pain. Dave, you're on
what pain? The fire or me actually having a pair of wingtips?
Cool shot. How we did the fire?
The fire was probably 8 shots from a tiki torch, and the shoes are actually as you see them. Reducing them down to this size didn't help it much. There's a lot more detail and a lot more light actually than you see on the top. The shape is really defined. But the flames themselves are a bunch of shots from a tiki torch that I had, trying to bend it around objects and stuff, and then bringing it in and messing with it a little bit. I actually posted one on your forum without the frame, so I know we try to stay away from that in here. But you know, if I had some more time, I probably would do a few things different. But overall, I'm sort of happy with it. You know, capturing flame is always fun.
Yeah, it was just black background and flame, and
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Brought it into Photoshop, and I don't know. I think I used screen for the layer.
What kind of exposure was for the flame? The shutter speed. I just wondering how fast. I never shoot flame. So,
no, believe it or not, it wasn't fast at all.
Yeah, it's a little bit blurred. That's what I'm asking. It's kind of
yeah. I think I shot it at a 250th or 500th. It didn't stop it perfectly, but I was okay with it. I was just happy I got it. And I'm working in my house, in just a room in my house, so working with flame is always an interesting thing for me. I had a couple pictures where I used, those turkey roaster, boil them in oil things, and they've got this huge thing that you put under it and light it up. I shot a couple pictures with it. One of my hand shots where the hand was on fire from this burner, and I almost burned my house down with it. So shooting anything with flame now is a little bit weird for me. I had like 3 fire extinguishers handy, and mind you, these flames were only like this tall.
Like this, right?
I blew them up in Photoshop, but I was still all sorts of freaked out. I had fire extinguishers and buckets of water, and it's never a good way to shoot. You should never be afraid when you shoot, but it's an okay shot. This is one of those that I might work on a little bit more and future.
Yeah. Well, nice. I like it as usual, Dave. Very
Thank you.
creative and nice. Bill, what do you say? It's interesting. What you would do different if you would do something like this?
No, I like the flames. A couple little things. The shoes, I would have done the highlights different. It's like I would have made the really shiny shoes. Am I right?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Really clean, long highlights along the side of them, as well as some of those little highlights that you have going on, and something over the top to kind of separate it from the background.
Yeah, I agree.
Something about, I might have tried something different with the placement of the 2 shoes, like one behind it. It's kind of weird. Maybe it gets more graphic, like you see perfectly profiled the one, and then the other one's like you see the top of it. I don't know.
I was trying to give the feeling of, sort of actually walking or running, so maybe that back shoe should be even further back to give more of a feeling of stride, and maybe the front one should be bent a little bit to give a feeling of motion. I wasn't really sure, and I hate to admit it, these things are beat to hell. I've worn these on stage probably at, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 shows now. I'm a guitar player. I'm in a band. So they were scuffed up and sort of beat up. So I really, like you said, Bill, I wanted sort of a symmetrical line or an even line down at the bottom of it to show the contour of the shoe. But they're just so beat up, it just wouldn't allow it.
It looks a little bit, they look a little bit beat up in the bend of it in the front and stuff. I mean, the shot could look cool if it was, a really new pair of shoes, or if it was even a woman's pair of shoes could be cool.
That's a cool idea. Really cool pair of stilettos with maybe some sort of a chrome heel or something, and then have the flame coming off that.
Yeah.
Sexuality might start getting in there a little bit also. That's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, having those types of shoes in the shot, it makes the shot look a little bit dated. So.
Well, I hate to say it, I'm a dated kind of guy.
It doesn't feel like a contemporary shot. So.
Right.
So those are just a few things, but the whole idea is cool. I like it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, Dave, you have very interesting stuff in your brain. I mean, just thinking how you getting these ideas. It's just all your portfolio. When I need something new to kind of appear in my head, I just open your portfolio and going through the images. Really, it's like going to Mars. Somewhere, maybe. Really.
Well, thank you, man.
Stuff.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I've got some weird stuff going on in my brain, I guess. It's all good though.
Yeah, we all a little bit, I guess. Okay, this is my shoe, and it's old. Actually, it was like this, done few years ago for the kind of a blog article. And this is lighting setup. You guys see that's what I was telling. No reflector, no diffuser. Just all spotlights all around to highlight all those. It was here. And we just photoshopped things out. The background is partially real and partially from the Yosemite Park. Just Jenny made it, kind of burn everything with that color to match it. So basically, that's it. I don't know. Bill, Dave, critique it. I don't know what I would do different here, even now.
I kind of like, you did this for an article, right? Or is that?
Yeah, it was an article. I can share it.
Yeah, I like it better. I think on a simpler background. Something about it in that environment. It doesn't.
You're talking about this? This kind of background, or just white?
Well, I mean, maybe not that background, but something similar to it, something a little bit more interesting. Yeah, and I like the contrast here, look you had going.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if you've seen or not. Well, it might be even if you've seen, the many viewers may not seen. That's how I started. It's like one light source, two, then I had another one, then I had one more from right and left. Well, it's probably a little bit more than this. So the lighting setup was 1, 2, 3, 4 light sources, and the difference basically between just one diffused light is here, and this is what we got with those spots. That's what we were telling, right? To bring texture, we need to have strong lights coming from sharp angles. And more lights is better, because you can see it all.
You need the multiple lights for a shoe for this kind of subject. I mean, it's really important, and the angles that you have the lights hitting the shoe it's really important. You have something textured like this, and you have a flash directly from camera or close to camera. It's you're not going to see the texture. So yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, thank you. Dave, you want to say something? Something bad? If you have something bad, please say. If it's just good.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll tear you apart. Can you go back to the image? The one thing that I thought of when I saw this was blur the shit in the background. Give me some real depth of field in this. Might help it a bit. And maybe get the shoe a little bit more over to the right of the frame. It just seems a little bit too close to the left. I mean, I like it. I like it more than the original background you had in it. But I think that the feeling of falseness I'm getting from this is the overall depth of field. If you're that close to that sneaker, there's no way those mountains in the background are that sharp. So that would be my only thing. I loved your setup shot though, man. You create this little mound, you put a sneaker on it. I mean, that's just brilliant. It really is.
7 light sources, you see?
Yeah, 7 lights, man. You can never have too much light. That's all there is to it.
I like the clouds. The cloud above it is nice. If you could do something simpler like that with just a few clouds and then the mound underneath it, I think that would be nice.
Yeah. I got to agree with you there, Bill. That's a cool idea. Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. The original idea when we said, we're going to use this shot, but Photoshop it somehow, I thought, Jenny, if you could get a volcano shot somehow with lava coming, on the side, and this shoe on red, like a flame. But I didn't have that shot, and, taking somebody else's shot, even with permission, it's kind of not, I don't like it, so we use that. But yeah, a little bit more drama, and like I said, maybe some clouds. Cool, thank you. Okay, so we got this. Guys, any questions? Let's discuss it a little bit. Let me tell you about kind of conclusion. So it looks like when we shoot in subject and more texture we need to bring, we using more sharper light, right? At sharper angle. less texture we need, our subject is more glossy, we need more diffusers, more reflectors all around to kind of make it look as it is, no texture. And same actually, it's funny, was with like portraiture, right? When we shoot in some young girl, when I used to shoot, you know, it's cool to have some sharp lights, you know, hair lights coming, which will bring a little bit of texture of the skin, but because she's young, you know, it's kind of nice, and even after Photoshop, without blurring, it looks nice. But when we shooting, let's say, women after 30 or 40, forget about sharp lights. Bring something large, big, highlight her, and she'll be happy. Same here, basically. Right? Are we good to go to next assignment? I guess. Well, I didn't think about it, so let's think together what we want to shoot next week.
Well, I was actually thinking about a friend of mine named Mike Malloy, who's one of my favorite photographers in the world. Oh God, I forget the name of his site now, but I'll remember it and link it in Google+. Mike is the most amazing photographer I've ever seen. This guy can take anything and make it incredible. He's the most artistic human being I have ever found. He took a picture of a Windex bottle once that just, stillzone.com, stillzone.com. He's a buddy of mine. He's the reason why I do what I do. If it wasn't for him, he was that one guy in my career that when I started shooting, he'd see a picture of mine and say, Dave, that sucks. I know you can do better. Don't ever show that. And he's absolutely what I needed. But he took a Windex bottle once and took this picture of it that I could never do in a billion years. So my suggestion might be a Windex bottle, a plastic bottle, some sort of a cleaner bottle, any sort of a thing, and try to find a way to make it artistic. I wouldn't say this is as much a product shot that you'd want to see in a magazine, but try to take something that is so inert, that is so just doesn't elicit emotion in you. What is this crap? Okay, Glass Plus. Mm-hmm. How would I shoot this that you'd look at it and say, wow, that's so cool, I love it? So
it's more like advertisement shot, right? If you cool the product or cool the shot, because...
No, I wouldn't even go with product shot on this. I just try to make it look like you look at this picture and say, wow, it's amazing. It's artistic. It makes me feel something. You know, because if you can take something like this and make it sexy in an abstract way or something that you look at and just say, wow, that's great, then imagine what you can do with anything else you're trying to shoot. You know, making something bland and there you go. Okay. So Alex, what do you want to do next week? I'm done.
No, it's not me. Bill can tell us how it is, but I just when you start talking about Windex, I said, oh, you know, I've seen something similar. Where have you seen it? And then here you go. No, Bill, it's new shot in your portfolio.
Yeah, no. What I think it's a great idea because if we're talking commercial photography, 80-90% of my work is stuff that is boring, bottles and cups and stuff that's, you know, not interesting at all. Just recently, I did some work for Procter & Gamble, and they sent me and 4 other photographers a test. They said, we want you to shoot this and see how it works out, and send us the example. And here, let me show you. So they sent a package. I thought it was going to be something cool, and they sent it, and it was a roll of paper towels. Mm-hmm. And you know, at first it's like, well, how am I going to shoot this to where it's somewhat interesting? And the whole idea was, it has to be on black because everything we shoot for Procter & Gamble is going to be on black. They're going to put it in the little trade ads that you get in the mail and all this and all that. But we want it really kind of sexy looking. So, so this is what I shot for Procter & Gamble for their test.
I see. Wow, that's, yeah. I see all the texture. I see all this, shadows, gradients. It's amazing. Talking about the piece of, junk like this, how to shoot it nice way. I wouldn't probably. It's just like you can't use any props, right? They need just a product shot, right?
They just want that's the whole idea. Is they just want the product shot, and it was hard because I set up some lights first and I had them fairly contrasty, but I wasn't seeing the texture and the details. So it took me a little while to figure out how to get the style of lighting I wanted and bring out all the texture in it. And
yeah, that's amazing. Bill, how did you, is it still wrapped all over with the plastic? Because I don't see plastic on the...
No, it's still wrapped in plastic.
Is it transparent plastic? Because usually it's kind of matte a little bit.
So it's, they sent it. It was kind of something they did at their studio. They printed out the bounty on a piece of clear plastic and then just wrapped the paper towels. Mm-hmm. And what I did is the lights are way high. High and overhead. How did I do it?
Share lights set up?
I think it was 3 shots, or not 3 shots, but 3 lights overall. Overhead, and then to keep the light from not gradating too much from top to bottom is I scrimmed the top part of the light. And but the lights are at a very extreme angle to get that kind of texture out of it.
Mm-hmm. And do you use the wide angle lens here as well?
Oh yeah. I almost always use wide angle.
yeah, I see.
Now, did you find Alex, can you go back to that shot?
Yeah, I'm going to share. What about this one? Was it for your portfolio or you did it for client?
That's for Procter & Gamble also. Mm-hmm. That was actually really simple. I did that shot the same day I did the Bounty towels, and it was just I hung it up on a rod, and I think it's 2 or 3 shots. I just splashed a lot of water around it, and the scope model, the color is just so intense, it just really pops. There's a big diffusion and a light behind it.
Yeah.
Do you do your own Photoshop work, Bill?
Yeah, well, it depends. I do a lot of it. If it's for my portfolio, I do it all myself.
Right.
If it's for clients, I either hire a retoucher, or they usually have a retoucher, or. But
so many of your shots I've looked at and said, I just swear they're like 3D. I mean, just computer generated. There's such a wonderful, and I don't mean that in a bad way whatsoever. My goal is to always look 3D, and I fail most of the time. I think making a photograph look rendered is just the most amazing thing in the world. And it's probably just the way you control light. Photographs will always look like photographs when they have blown highlights or just a lack of detail, but your shots are just so absolutely wonderful. With especially that scope shot. If I've got some friends who are just like geeks in 3D, they've written books about it, and I'm sure they'd look at your stuff and sort of say, this is probably rendered, which I don't know if that bothers you, but to me that's about the best compliment I can ever get in the world.
No, that was actually, when putting together a lot of my new work, is I wanted it to go in between rendered and photography.
Absolutely.
It's all photography, but
of course.
a lot of the work that you get these days, and a lot of the clients, they're flipping the coin between rendering something and photographing it.
Right.
I'm working on a project right now where half of the photograph is going to be photography and half of it is going to be rendered. And it's a client choice, and they can choose to do it whichever way they want. But I want to show them they like the super clean look of render and doing something that's almost impossible to do. But they also like photography. There's actually probably a lot of cost savings in doing it in photography rather than rendering it.
Absolutely.
It's fun, but I think in a few years things may start getting changed, because of rendering will cost less and less.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a big concern. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of against us, all the computer stuff, because it's growing faster and being clever, and
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think both Bill, you and Alex have this wonderful combination, and probably something I'm lacking severely. You've got this wonderful combination of photographic skills and then Photoshop skills. Alex, whether it's Genia with you or Bill, it's just you and the people you work with. I've always gotten comments in a lot of my pictures that people sort of feel that they're rendered or 3D, but it's probably not a really informed audience. But when I look at both of your stuff, I sit back sometimes and go, holy shit, is this computer or is it photography? And I honestly think that's the coolest thing in the world. Since I talked about my friend Mike earlier, he is a 3D geek. While most people were doing like creating a circle in 3D software, this guy was creating figures. He's had books out about him and the whole 9 yards. And my goal was always to try to create something Mike would create in his medium. And then he went into photography and kicked my ass also. But I think there's something beautiful about having people look at a picture and say, how was that done? Was it a photo or was it software? Which way did it go? I think that's a real testament to a photographer, and both of you handle that really, really amazingly. And I'm always bugging my eyes at everything you guys shoot. Whereas I might shoot some weird shit and try to infuse a little bit of my own personality into it. I don't have the skills you guys do when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I've learned a lot in the last few weeks, and it's really been great for me. So thanks to both of you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Well, I will tell you honestly, I would love.
Alex, you're gone.
Oh, really?
Don't hear a word. Bill, you there?
Oh, you mean?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Must be me.
I can hear Alex.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I
I can hear it too.
Oh, okay, Dave. So you probably lost. Well, thank you, Dave. He's not here, and why I'm going to tell you. Was going to tell him that I would love to have him in the studio, to work together at some projects, because with Dave's creativity, it will be really cool. I don't have such brain, which is good. Well, he didn't hear anything, so.
Dave, can you hear us? No, I think he's still there, but his volume's on.
Yeah, looks like for some reason. Anyway, we'll wait for him a little bit. We got the assignment. Let's shoot some, let's say, clean solutions like Windex or something, probably with clean liquid inside. Very artistic, very kind of creative way. So it will be kind of off shot. Not talking about just a product shot. So whatever Dave said, he said very well. Before we finished, I just want to make a little announcement. It's kind of cool thing happened to me. It's going to happen in May. I will be part of Google Plus Photographers Conference in San Francisco. I'm going to share screen, and I will have a little workshop there. It's not only me. It's actually 16 photographers here, and Scott Kelby is plus Google plus organizing all this stuff. If you want to look at this event, it's g+ect.com, and you can register. It's a few-day event with a lot of like workshops, portfolio reviews, well, if you've seen my stream, you will see. Anyway, cool stuff. So if you can join. I would love to meet you over there, guys.
Hey Alex, how big are the? I'm actually planning to go there.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna book my tickets tomorrow. I've got friends that are in San Francisco, so I'm gonna stay. I've got a place to stay. How big are the actual? Like I think each section is like an hour long or something like that, based on the schedule. Are they limited to a certain amount of people in each class, or?
Well, what I see on schedule, that it's like one after another. So it's probably all people it's for everybody. Each.
Well, no, some of them are like.
Some of them overlapping. I didn't check really. I don't know much. I don't know much about it probably because it's probably same sources and I kind of thinking what I'm going to shoot there, but it will be something really cool, something hard to shoot, and we'll make it nice and interesting.
Are you planning to bring your Cambo there?
Oh, I kind of said it, but probably not. I don't know.
I was going to say, how are you going to take that gear?
Yeah, it's like to have that big camera. I don't know. It's I think for many photographers who will be on the conference, it's like more, like not a toy, but something which they probably won't never use. So I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I need to shoot.
Can you when you figure out your exact time slot? Can you let me know?
Oh yeah. It's if you go there and there is a schedule, and my stuff is product shot, which is 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. First day, which is May 22nd.
Okay.
And then I will be doing portfolio review next day. One portfolio review. Yeah, it will be Wednesday at between 1:45 and 2:45 p.m.
Okay.
And I will have photo walk at the day before. I think.
Oh, you're doing a photo walk as well?
Yes, it will be. Where is photo walks here? I don't see.
I didn't see on the list. I was thinking of trying to hook up with Trey Radcliffe as well.
Yeah, on photo walk. Oh, okay. If you click on registration, you will see all the list of photo walks. And
Right.
it's like everyone, only 50 people can join one photo walk. And
Right,
it will be 50 photographers. So it will be only 50. I guess on each. Maybe not more, unless you just can go there. And mine will be at Treasure Island. I never been there, so I can pick up. Well, yeah, I spent a few days in San Francisco, and it was very kind of sporadic days where I went here and there, and I didn't see much. So
Right. Oh, now I'm.
We'll have some.
Yeah, I'd like to meet both of you guys. So I'll have to figure out which photo walk I want to do better. Because Treasure Island is pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem. I don't know how to. I was thinking about some huge photo walk with everybody in it. Maybe it will be at some point. I don't know, but not in schedule for sure.
Yeah,
But we should have time there, and I hope we can just hang out, all around. So
cool.
hopefully.
Well, I'm sure I'll see you there then.
Okay, thank you. That would be cool. Alrighty, we lost Dave. Bill went to sleep. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dave and Bill. You left a little bit early, but it was great hang out, and thank you so much to join it and talking through it. And yeah, thank you guys for taking part on weekly assignments. Let's do something interesting for next assignment. I will have something new for this one because that's what I don't have yet. Nothing in my portfolio or blog like this, so I'm going to shoot something. Okay?
Cool.
Yeah.
You good? No.
Do you have a minute?
Sorry. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Do you have a minute after, Alex?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you finish and I'll come back.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say that no European hangout tomorrow. Sorry, it's just the people there, and it's hard for me to do them. So far we have only one hangout then. That's it. We finished. Thank you. And bye.
Yeah.